In 2022, LMI underwent a significant organizational shift as it entered the for-profit arena after 6 decades as a federally funded research and development center. In this interview, we spoke with LMI CEO Doug Wagoner, a 5-time Wash100 Award winner, to learn more about the company's growth strategy, M&A opportunities, and core values as it taps into this next phase of expansion. If you enjoy this interview, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you're interested in being interviewed, email summer@executivemosaic.com. Hello, and welcome to Executive Mosaic's video interview series. I'm Summer Myatt, and here to speak with me today is Doug Wagoner, CEO of LMI. Doug, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Summer. Thanks for the opportunity.
So, Doug, my first question for you is, which emerging technologies do you currently have your eye on? And what tech advancements do you anticipate will have the greatest impact in the federal landscape in the coming years?
Well, I almost hate to say AI because that's what everyone's talking about these days, but it absolutely is AI. And I just think about, in my career, my life, I've been fortunate to see a lot of new technologies come about and seeing their adoption rates. And it's true about Moore's Law, but AI, the adoption rate is much, much quicker than I ever anticipated it was going to be. I think the first time I maybe heard or saw ChatGPT, which is really, the primary generative AI tool that folks talk about, was probably the end of 22. And then, some of my engineers, my data scientists started playing with it in the spring of 23. By the end of summer 23, we had our first solution, LIGER. And I think by the end of that year, we were selling our solution, our Gen AI solution to customers. And that adoption rate of such a new technology, a technology that somewhat scary to some people, has been really, really fascinating. And so I think it's going to continue to be a massive change agent across the government landscape, just because of all the capabilities it does.
And Doug, I know LMI has also been expanding into the space market recently. Can you talk about how you've been accomplishing that and what new opportunities you're pursuing in that area?
Space is another, right there with AI, space technology has really taken off, no pun intended. And again, it's been really the access to space is what's been the accelerator. What's been prohibitive to space is the access and cost of launch. And thanks to, many commercial launch companies, primarily SpaceX over the last few years, it's really enabled more access to space at a much, much, much lower cost. And there's just a lot of things you can do in space that you can't do terrestrially. The cost of certain activities overall will come down doing it from space versus terrestrially. And so we saw that opportunity, and LMI was in the space business. We were not. We were more on the back office part of space. We really weren't on the mission side, and we realized that we were going to have to acquire to really get the capabilities, the past performance, the people, the access to really do some amazing things in space. And so we were able to acquire Synaptech, which is based in Colorado Springs. Space Force is their primary customer. And that really enabled us to do work for them, such as wargaming, such as future force design. And we really brought the credibility of those activities that we can start doing other things across Space Force and Space Command and commercial space and civilian space.
And Doug, I know AI and space are just a couple of LMI's core capabilities and market areas. Where else are you seeing opportunities for expansion in LMI's portfolio, and what can we expect to see from the company from an M&A perspective in 2024?
Well, on the capability side, we really are making a transition. Before, LMI talked about what we do, right? And what we do are 3 primary service lines: data analytics, logistics, which has been our legacy from our founding in 1961, and management consulting. And what we realized is that's how we organize. It's how we organize our people. but it's not necessarily how we go to market. And so now we're pivoting to lines of business and evolving the lines of business. So instead of just talking about logistics, we talk about logistics decision dominance. We talk about mission engineering. That's a lot of the space work that we do is mission engineering. Human performance management is something that, again, a lot of our management consultants do, but all of it is underlined with data. And so you'll see us transition this year and really talking about, the solutions that we bring and not necessarily how we're organized. And I think it's a lot clearer message to the marketplace. And also having those lines of business well defined makes it clearer for us, where our gaps are that we can fill with M&A. Last year, we were very active, but we didn't find any assets that were perfect for us. This year, I think you'll see us be more active and more successful in closing on M&A. And primarily, we will continue to lead with purchasing market access. We feel as though we have very, very strong capabilities in the marketplace, very high demand capabilities in the marketplace. We think that we can invest in ourselves to develop those and expand those. What's difficult sometimes is getting that market access. And that's what you'll see us to continue to focus on and primarily in those areas that are difficult to penetrate new, right? So I think you'll continue to see us focus on healthcare on top of the acquisition that we made in 21 in healthcare. We'll continue to look at space. This year, really a high priority for us, is penetrating greater penetration into the intelligence space where we have a presence now, but we want to expand it. And so we're certainly looking for more access to the intelligence community.
Doug, you briefly touched on LMI's history. I want to ask you about LMI's core values. And how do you think those values are translating into continued success and growth in the GovCon market?
Well, those core values did spring from our 60-year history as a non-for-profit. Our mission focus, how we treat our people, high ethical standards. When you're a nonprofit, those are even more critical. And we continued those cultural identity as we went for profit in 2022. We also find it a core reason why people come to work for LMI, why we enjoy a very low turnover rate, is that we do talk about those cultural elements. The management team reinforces those cultural elements. It's just not something that we throw on the website. It is something that all of us take very seriously because, we spend the public's money, and that's a high bar for integrity and transparency, and we take that very seriously. And I think all of our competitors in the marketplace do that, but again, it's at a different level when you're a non-for-profit, and so we want to continue that as we move into the for-profit area.
Lastly, Doug, I want to ask you about workforce and kind of the workforce trends that you're seeing today. What's your strategy for attracting and retaining top-level talent in today's market?
So what's great about this market, the marketplace, and especially early career professionals, is that they want to serve a higher purpose, right? They want to make the world a better place. And I'm really happy that we're able to give that opportunity, right? If you take a look at certainly national security work that we do, but the healthcare work that we do, protecting the vulnerable, the many programs that we have in that area. So we definitely have, programs of purpose, and I think that resonates, with people today. But also, people want to be compensated well, and so we're not only are we competitive there, but we have, again, going back to our nonprofit roots, really exceptional benefits. Again, I think we're one of the few companies that still pay $15,000 a year for education or for a certification. Very few folks offer that. We still offer that. And then, back to your previous question, the cultural elements that we have are very, very important to people. They want to be proud of who they work for. And again, that's embodied in our cultural elements. And then lastly, we still believe that people enjoy flexibility of the workplace. And that's something that we continue to offer. I know a lot of companies now are moving back to either 5 days a week or you must be in Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, we found that arbitrary, that everyone comes in Tuesdays and Thursdays. So what we did instead is we hold a series of Connect events during the course of the year. And just organically, people are reconnecting, and they're realizing that, there are times where they do want to be in the marketplace. They do want to be with their peers. They do want to collaborate, but they're figuring that out on their own, as opposed to us top down to saying, come here Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're still 150% committed to the customer. That is still their priority. But they can do it within a work schedule that they and their manager determine. And additionally, back to my earlier comment about people wanting to serve a higher purpose, I think another reason why people come and stay at LMI is that we have 7 employee resource groups. And again, these are very organic. These are not 7 that we determine. These are folks that have come and said, hey, look, we have a women's group. We have people of color. We have veterans. It was just 3 of the 7 that we have. And again, these are what employees said. These are groups that we want to get together. We want to talk about issues that matters are important to us here in the workplace. There's an executive sponsor for each one of those, and we do listen. They come up with many ideas that say, hey, look, if you could make these changes either to benefits or to a policy, or recognize certain dates, it would be even a more inclusive workplace than it is at LMI. And those have been really, really helpful. So I think, again, people want a sense of being, more so today than maybe when I started my career. And I'm really proud of how we've enabled that.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for your time today and for all the work you do at LMI.
Oh, thanks, Summer.